I grew up in this little place, maybe you heard of it, home to 2.5 million people, 150 nationalities, Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn, everyone lives on a street, which we call the block. And on our block, there's a place where we sit that's called the Stoop. Now this Stoop, it's a very special place. You see, my friends growing up were Russian, Irish, Italian, Puerto Rican, Korean, Jewish, Muslim, Palestinian, Lebanese, Greek, Puerto Rican, American. And we all grew up on the same block. And we all hung out on the same stoop. And this stoop, it was our meeting ground, it was our connection point. It was a place where we could come together, have an open dialogue, say what we wanted, and we knew there wouldn't be any consequences down the line from our teachers, or our parents, or our girlfriends, because we never had any. But still, the Stoop was a place where I first learned about valuing difference, about equality. And the reason I bring up the Stoop is because I think each of us has a stoop in our lives. In everyone's neighborhood, there's a place, there's a gathering place where you can go and have an open conversation and not be judged, be equals with the people next to you. In some places, maybe it's a laundromat. In some communities, maybe it's a bar. For my 10-year-old nephew in upstate New York, it's a tree. But I bring up the Stoop because I think it's crucial for us to develop relationships with people in our lives. Friends, family, clients. Let's say you got an idea for a new sports program that you want to implement in inner city Chicago. Well, what are you going to do? Are you just going to build a basketball court? Are you just going to invest in a football field? No. Go, hang out with kids, find out what their stoop is, interact with them, and find out what they want. And we don't come from a place of, hey, I'm going to help you, I'm going to fix you, I know what's good for you. No, we come from a place of, I want to understand what your life is like. I want to understand what your hopes, your wants, your desires are. So, the first lesson I learned is that we got to find the Stoop. Now, I want you to imagine that you're growing up and your whole life, everybody's told you what you're supposed to be. Well, maybe you don't have to imagine. Maybe that is your life. But I want you to imagine that your whole life, people told you you were supposed to be an actor. You like being in front of people, right? You like attention. I mean, you're kind of funny. I mean, you should be an actor. And you start to think, all right, I can try that. So you start acting. You get the high school plays. You get a scholarship to college. And before long, you book a role on one of the largest television shows on the planet, The Sopranos. So here you are, on set. You finish filming for the day. You knock it out of the park. You with me so far? And as you finish filming, it's the biggest day of your career. You're in the car with AJ, one of the stars from the show, driving back to the city as you wrapped. And you realize that even though you did a great job and it was the biggest day of your career, you're totally unfulfilled. You just feel nothing. So you turn to AJ and you say, why am I in this business? It's so superficial. I mean, what am I doing? I'm trying to book roles. I'm trying to be famous. I'm trying to be seen. Aren't there bigger things that we should be focusing on? Aren't there people dying of poverty in developing countries? And he looked at me and he said something I'll never forget. He said, I don't know, man, I just met you. But he did say, if you want to do something else, why don't you go out there and try it? And for the longest time I didn't, because I had listened to all this noise around me of what everyone else thought I should be doing. The way that I see it, we've got two passions in our lives. One is in our heads, and that's what everyone else tells us we should be doing. And the other is in our gut, and that's what we really want to do. But if we listen to the noise, we kind of sometimes forget what that is. So I learned that it's imperative that we ignore the noise to find out what our passion is.